forwards start getting shifted around. It does appear that Hafiz Sujad is playing a slightly different role today. And it's Jordan Vestre who's indeed the left back. That is an expansive shot from Emmanuel.
Yeah, it was a good little first touch initially. Expect to see some hits and misses from Emmanuel. I think that's what he's all about. Aggressive, physical. It's quite erratic. Already we've seen that Anu's been given a man marking job on Mong Win. So a lot of respect given by Hougang United to Mong Win, the central midfielder. Anu's just going to follow him all around the pitch, it seems.
Gone with two up top today, John. They mean business, don't they, Yangon?
Yeah, and as well they might. Playing at home, playing against a Hougang side that were, if they were seen the footage, I'm sure they would have. A Hougang side that were completely outplayed for at least an hour.
Coming forward here. Mong Win. Carol Hin. Let's put that out for a corner.
Carl just took a step to his left. I'm not sure if he slipped, but he did make a bit of a meal of this. He has a stinging strike. I think it was going just wide. But early on, goalkeepers don't always have their bearings. Let's have a look from here.
Didn't look comfortable there, did he? Just look awkward.
Yeah, it was almost as if he was trying to hold on to it.
Bright start here from the hosts. They're struggling to just get it away, aren't they? Hougang at the moment. There's Chipe Plazibat. Sahil Sahabi will not get to the ball. Here's Mong Nguyen. Over that from Tin Tan.
Well, you're going to see a lot of that from Tin Tan. Full of energy, terrific fitness levels, and Nazrul won't want to be pegged back the other way, running back towards his own goal too much throughout this game, especially in this hot first half before the shadows lengthen.
Oh, that was a powerful header, wasn't it? Coming a little bit of a deep run. Coming in from Ernest Bafo.
Yeah, it was a run. It's a run that nobody really wanted to block off. Ernest Bafo is probably the most powerful player on the field, and he had a good look at that. He'll expect to do a little bit better. Needed something a little bit more subtle from that header. Another player, Shafiq Ghani, who should be relatively fresh, you feel, and we know technically he's a talent. With the ball at his feet, he can pick a pass, takes a good set piece as well. But can he do the ugly side of the game away from home?
He's struggled to kick off, nail down a starting place, hasn't he? So you're right, John.
There's question marks again over his fitness levels, isn't it? I mean, he should be fresh. Hasn't played a lot of minutes of late.
A little bit like how they started in Singapore recently. Hougang have just struggled to get any kind of rhythm. They were very good soon after they played Ho Chi Minh City, albeit a rather substandard Young Lions. This was in the league. They won pretty easily 4-1.
Once again, that ball up to Stipe Plazibat, it has to stick. And tried to lay it off to Anu then. He was having words with Anu. Anu's having some back.
Very talented side, Hougang. They've splashed the cash in the last couple of seasons. Went from bottom of the table to challenging for the title last year.
Yeah, it's just a little trip on Nazrul. Yeah, traditionally, Hougang United have been one of the smaller clubs in the Singapore Premier League. Certainly was a whipping boy when I was playing.
From Anu Manthan. Interesting to see Hafiz Sujad on this right-hand side.
The referee's given a free kick there against as Ernest was clattered trying to clear the ball. I think quite rightly so. Unnecessary. Ernest was going nowhere. He was off balance anyway. Contact didn't need to be made.
Lots of instructions being passed by Ting Mong Tun. This is the man who's coming today, Sansat Nang, for the number 1, Chorza Tet. So far, he's had not too much to do so far, the 22-year-old who's already played for his national team. Zach Anderson.
You see that ball there, although decent from a goalkeeper, those are the balls that Zach Anderson should be playing. If he's the outfield player, he should always be better on the ball than a goalkeeper, and that's something that Zach can play. Zach can play those long balls if necessary. See more confidence from him.
Well, that's Hafiz Sujad. Saw him on the right early, now in a more central role.
Yeah, he's tucked right in, isn't he?
What do you feel about this? I mean, he's always been known as a left-sided player, hasn't he?
He has. He's always been known as a wider player.
Yeah.
You know, he has played as an out-and-out winger. I've also seen him play as a forward, as a wide forward as well as a full-back. Yeah, it's interesting going to see if he is genuinely tucking into a more central position. That's going to be interesting to see. I think that would be development for him. He doesn't have rip-roaring pace. And I don't think he's got the fitness levels of, say, Nazrul Nasari over on this right-hand side. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I thought he might be ahead of Jordan Vestering. That doesn't seem to be the case. Afik Noor is the man who's screening that back 4. I thought it might be Anu Mantan, who's playing a slightly more advanced role, though. I mean, you could probably say he's kind of a box-to-box player, isn't he? He's super fit.
Yeah.
He just gives absolutely everything, and he's really worked on his distribution. And you and I spoke about that the last game he played.
Yeah.
As that falls to the skipper, Mong Mong. A good run so far. Nice little turn there as well from Emmanuel. Tintan. They just look crisper on the ball. That's a really good ball and a decent stop in the end. Jordan Vestering saves his team there as he clears that away before Barfo could get onto it.
I'm not sure how good a contact this is from Barfo, but what a delivery. I mean, it's such a good delivery that I'm on my seat trying to head it myself. I mean, it's gorgeous, but look at that clearance. It's a decent stop. If it's in the corner, keeper has no chance, but it's a decent stop there. And that's what you should do as a defender. Be pessimistic. Don't believe that your goalkeeper's going to gather it. Follow it in. Clear your lines. Really good football.
He should have scored that.
Oh, certainly. He's really disappointed. Look at the look on his face. Not good enough contact. I mean, he's, 3 yards out? What a delivery, though.
Kyril Hind did what was asked of him. And then Jordan Vestering with the heroics there. But they look so much better on the ball, John. And this is almost a carbon copy of the last time we worked on Hougang, which was against Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, I think we can understand how Yangon really pushed Ho Chi Minh. Play a similar style. Love these little short passes. Every player knows their job. Don't try and step outside of that job description. And they have a good setup, good balance. Hougang, on the other hand, finding it very, very difficult to play through central midfield. And look at these little traps that Yangon are starting to build. They're just allowing Anders Aplin and Zach Anderson just to have the ball every now and then. And now they start pressing. And here's the trap. Zach's got a whole heap of problem there, and then they give the ball away, and this is happening far too often.
Yeah, they have caused problems at the back, haven't they? You could see it happening.
See it happening, yeah, but nobody in an orange shirt could see it happening. It's okay to go long sometimes. You're playing away from home, hot conditions, don't be afraid to go long.
Sahil does well. Forward by Nazrul, looking for Stipe Plazibat. Just seem a little hungry at the moment. This Yangon United side. Now Sahil. That's right between Hafiz Sujad and Stipe Plazibat. Then clears. Zach Anderson on the ball first. Here's Afik. Well, they're giving no quarter at the moment. Yangon.
Well, you could just see how hungry they are, and you can hear from their coach constantly shouting on the sideline, second ball, second ball. And that's the difference in tempo. The desire to win the ball back quickly and dominate this game. Yeah, that's a foul, but that's not a bad foul to give away on the halfway line. Shows intent, shows the away side that they're not going to be given any quarter.
Forward by Afik. Not a bad ball. Shafiq Ghani. Could he have done better first time?
Well, we know Shafiq Ghani technically is one of the better players for Hougang. Should have been getting hold of that quicker. And he's in the side to make something happen.
That was one of the few opportunities inside the final third for Hougang. But it does appear that Yangon are first to every ball.
And Shafiq Ghani just got a little wrap on the ankle there. Finding it tough going. Yeah, and look how quickly the home side just manoeuvre the ball to the other side. 1 and 2 touch. Keep possession of the ball, just moving the away side around.
Nazrul with the header, but it's given away once again. Possession. They can't keep hold of the ball at the moment, Hougang. Tintan. He's got a skipper, Mong Mong, right on this left-hand side. Causing all sorts of problems, particularly down this left-hand side, aren't they? Tintan and Mong Mong Nguyen. Barfo.
Yeah, wins another corner. Sahil's having to do the horrible side of the game. He's not happy. Anders Aplin's getting drawn out of his house and have to come over and cover Nazrul.
Need a better quarter than that. Especially someone from Mong Mong Nguyen who's got the ability. Don't go out. That was Clement Teo. I'm not sure who he was directing that at.
We've already seen then that I think he was talking to Anders Aplin or Zach Anderson, not dropping to get the ball. Changing it now, so he's asking for Kyril to go longer, quicker. It's because of this press is happening, this little half press.
Here's Kyril Hin. Now Aplin. Nazrul won't get to it. They're winning the ball very easily at the moment. Yangon looking far more up for this at the moment.
So that was a good ball out from Zach. Nice disguise on it. Good way to pass.
A little bit careless, that challenge from Nazrul Nazari. The Australian officials in charge today, Jonathan Barrero, doesn't feel it warrants a card.
Yes, that ball got popped out from Zach to Nazrul. That's a good foul from Nazrul. It's a heavy first touch. and he's well out of position as well, and there's a 3-on-3 if he allowed that break to happen.
Mong Nguyen again. He's been very lively in this game so far. All the way back to Ernest Congo. Lots of pockets of space at the moment for the Yangon players. In from Mong Mong. This cross not quite as good as the previous one. Zach Anderson deals with it. Here's Stipe Plazibat. Lovely little back heel from him. Has that created a little opening? That's a poor ball from Shafik Ghani.
Well, Afik Noor doing the screening for Hougang in that midfield area. He needs to be communicated to constantly. He looks a little lost at the moment as he comes in and tries to pick up whoever's drifting in between the lines for Yangon. He's a little unsure of where his starting position should be. He needs to be spoken to by Zach and Anders Aplin.
I thought it would be Anu Mantan who would be in that screening position.
I think it's testament to his ball playing ability, why he's been tasked with going a little bit further forward and engaging Mong Nguyen.
But at the moment, they're struggling. They're struggling to take any grip of this game. I just wonder.
If you're the Hougang coach, you change this straight away. This first 15 minutes, it doesn't look right. They don't look comfortable. They're getting drawn out. They're getting run ragged. A few of these wide players, especially Nazrul, Sahil Sahaimi, both of them are looking frayed already. Not even 20 minutes gone. They're looking a little bit tired.
Up towards Ernest. Ernest Barfo, that is. And two Ernest in the side, of course. Ernest Congo and Ernest Barfo. One from Ghana, that's Barfo, and Burkina Faso is where Ernest Congo is from. Those are the Yangon United fans. They'll be fairly happy with this. No goals, though, to show for the moment. We've had some pretty decent chances, Yangon United.
Just seen Anu then just passing on Mong Nguyen to Hafiz Sujad. I think that's a wise move from Anu. Not going with him always, just giving him a shout, Hafiz Sujad to pick him up.
Work there from Jordan Vestring, who prevented the earlier chance. Really, that Yangon should feel giving them the lead. Really struggling to hold on to this ball, string more than a few passes together. Stipe Plazibat now. Hafiz Sujad. Here's Shafik Ghani. It's a couple of times now. With some stray passing. It's lacking a little zip at the moment.
Yeah, a little intensity. You wonder whether things will quicken up in that second half once the shadows start coming across that pitch and it starts to cool down a little bit.
It's interesting because Hougang didn't have a game last weekend, and the Yangon lost to potential title rivals Ayawadi. And that means they're now third in the league, and Ayawadi have climbed above them because of that win. 1-0 win. They're looking the fresher of the two.
They look a little bit hurt, don't they, Yangon? Like a wounded animal. They're aggressive. Put their foot in a few times.
Hafiz. Yeah, Anu. Now Nazrul tries to clear. Puts it right back in the danger zone, no. Barfo. Zach Anderson got maybe just enough on that.
Oh, Zach's been clattered. And his standing leg, he just got a toe. It was an all-important long leg from Zach Anderson there. Both players overstretching. Look here, Barfo just cuts that back. Watch Zach, standing leg. Gets absolutely clattered there. It's a great bit of defending, had to be. Putting his body on the line. Good work from Barfo, just hungrier, greater desire.
Actually, when you look at that, he miscontrolled the ball, Zach Anderson, then tried to take a swipe at it. Isn't that a foul?
I think because the player managed to get his shot off, that's key. If you manage to get your shot off, I think the benefit would be given to the defender there. I understand where you're coming from.
Hong Chor-Neng is the man getting treatment. But there's some been decent opportunities here for the home side.
Well, going back to Barfo's effort, the first 5 minutes. Hougang riding their luck. And they had to, and they did a lot of the time at Jalan Besar Stadium against Ho Chi Minh. They really did ride their luck. Ho Chi Minh hit the woodwork, had one-on-ones. One thing's for sure, yeah, Yangon playing some nice football at the moment, but they're not a good enough side to completely shut the door, to not give a single opportunity to Hougang. If Hougang can hang in, they will get a little chance.
Yeah, there's one thing about this group. There are always goals in the games, aren't there? It's not been
It's the fun of the AFC Cup, though, isn't it?
Not too many clean sheets in this one. Play finally resumes with Hougang. Maybe that little extended break might help to just spoil the momentum a little bit. No real rush for Kyril Hin. It's back here with Yangon. And it's Congo. Nazrul giving the ball away again. It was his clearance earlier that caused the problems.
Well, you look at the difference in forward play there from Emmanuel compared to, say, Stipe Plasibat. The ball played up to his chest, laying that off really nice, and he's already on the move for the return pass.
That's a decent ball in, and oh, no conviction whatsoever. That's his second opportunity now for Chor-Neng.
Yeah, not happy with that. His movement into the box was fantastic. Just ghosts into that central position. Watch him just come in now. And it's a difficult height, fair enough. But did he go with the wrong leg? It looked like that to me. Ended up hitting his groin more than his foot. Another opportunity. Good work from Emmanuel. And what I like about this cross, though, he's taken the bounce out of it. And there's a little bit of pace on that. So if you just make good contact, that flies past Kyril Hin.
That's a very good opportunity. Again, not taken by Yangon. They are piling up these chances now. I was telling you that this group is full of goals. Every team in this group has been involved. Each team has been involved with 9 goals. Ho Chi Minh City, Yangon United and Hougang United have each scored 5 and conceded 4. Lao Toyota have scored 3 and conceded 6. So surely we're going to get goals.
Oh, there's some wonderful play over on this near side. good defending in the end there from Nazar Nasari. Anu as well, sorting things out. Good football there. Great possession from Yangon. Good defending in the end from Hougang.
Everything's been in this half, John, for the last...
It has, yeah, and mainly down this near side.
You were talking earlier about perhaps changing the formation, changing something up, and Clementino did that, albeit a bit late in the game last week, last time out, with Hanumantan coming on.
Well, just saw Anu just breaking things up well there, and I can't help feeling that Anu should be playing in front of the back line instead of Afik Noor, and I don't mind that from Anu. I know he's going to get booked, but at least he's showing some intent, some aggression there.
Yeah, getting some booking for his troubles.
And the boys in the studio last game, they were surprised with Clementino's attitude after the game. He seemed content, he seemed pleased almost with his side's performance, which I found strange. You know, as you mentioned, Shez, it's a talented side individually that Hougang have got. I think he would be, as a coach, well within his right to ask more from his players. A little cameo of what Anu's all about, really. You know, putting tackles in, breaking things up, over on this near side in the beginning, then centrally against one of the most dangerous players on the pitch, Mong Win.
Free kick here for Yangon United. Go short. On this left-hand side for now. Very good on the ball, aren't they? At the moment, this Yangon side. That's the confidence there. Barfo, we did the hard part really well, and then a simple cross.
Yeah, little Croy turn there from Emmanuel, and this is what we're talking about. You know, with him, there's no grey areas. It's a wonderful little turn, and then all it needed was a little cutback. It was a midfielder arriving. Could have even just stood that towards the back post. That's what we said in the early stages of the game, though, with Emmanuel. He's going to be full of hits and full of misses.
Here is Emmanuel. Everything is inside this final third. Yangon really causing problems. Still haven't got that goal yet. Murata. Now Vestering. Where does he go? Afik. This is probably where they tend to lose the ball. Vestering tried to head it clear, but it is back with the Yangon United. They really are struggling to get out their half.
Well, they are, and even that clearance from Cairo, it needs to go over the halfway line. The back line of Hougang is just under constant pressure.
Tintan. Mong Win. Doesn't get it to his namesake.
Well, that's unfortunate, that. Mong Win, he saw that little run, but look how he's trying to dig that, because he's trying for that little sand wedge backspin. He knows it's a dry afternoon. He can just check it into the path of his captain. They were in behind yet again.
Anderson tries to clear it again, doesn't get past that halfway line. Stipe Plazibat. Not sure who that pass was to, but they've given it away carelessly once again. Emmanuel driving right through the heart of this defence. Emmanuel, well, it was all too easy. And I think he'll be disappointed not to at least hit the target there.
Well, could have had a brace by now, Emmanuel, and it opened up for him. And to be fair, he's the one who opened up for himself. Look at this little check here. Accelerates. I think Noor's nowhere near him, nowhere near good enough. Should be on the half turn. Defence is backing off. Give him his dues. Emmanuel, the ball does bobble slightly. That's not far away. He's looking for that far corner.
Ghosted past Afik a little too easily.
Yeah, as if he wasn't there.
Shafiq Ghani. Now Hafiz Sujad. This is about as much possession as they've had in the last 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Afik. And there's Zaplin. It's another errant pass and frustration from Sahil Suhaimi. Well, there's a man in question, the man we've been talking about, who's perhaps his defensive qualities are needed a little bit more at the moment, John.
Well, certainly. I mean, he's unable to get his foot on the ball just like the rest of his teammates. He needs to be constantly picking up second balls there. And at least he's trying to play forward. You see, he's at least trying to be progressive. I think Noor, when he gets the ball, the young boy's just playing it backwards.
I wonder if they're going to tweak that. Fabian Kwok played that screening role in the game against Ho Chi Minh City. And he played in a pivot with Charles Matchell in the league game. No movement at all. That's pretty telling. What do you make of that?
Well, he's
not wrong, is he?
He's certainly not wrong. I think anybody with an ounce of football knowledge can see that. There's no movement ahead of the man on the ball at the moment. It's just some decent fitness levels keeping him in the game straight at the moment. You do feel a little bit for Anders Zaplin. You feel for Nazrul Nasari and Zach Anderson. They're just getting peppered. Balls constantly coming at them.
Wong. Murata.
Handball's been given in a dangerous area. And this is what you're talking about. When you get tired, you end up just making silly decisions there. Silly decision from Nazrul.
Another set piece. 10 minutes to half time. If Hougang somehow get there without conceding, it'll be seen as some kind of win. Flicked across. I think that might have come off Anderson for another corner. A flick from Renzo, perhaps.
Yeah, Di Renzo just ghosting in there. Great movement from him, one of the smaller players on the pitch. Whipped in with pace, great shape on it. Just trying to get that fringe, just to guide that into the far corner.
It's absolutely tiny, isn't he? He's centre back. That's a little bit better defending.
Towards the back post then. It was good defending.
Not a single shot yet from Hougang. They've really barely been in their final third. They've barely been out of their half.
I can't remember them stringing more than 4 passes together either.
They've gone short this time.
In that sort of situation there, you want Zach to bring the ball forward. There's no point just laying it off to the goalkeeper. You've got to trust that you're the better ball player. The angles need to change. Someone needs to start bringing the ball further forward.
Well, that was Hafiz Sujad, who's just dropped a little. Now Aplin. perhaps a chance to cross that line. Vestering. Yeah, this is about as long as time they've had on the ball in this match. Applin.
How hard they have to work to get in that sort of situation there.
And that was actually a decent spell of possession. It took them some time, then an unforced error.
Yeah, their body position was much better on receiving the ball. All of them were on the half turn. It was much nicer. But you see how hard they had to work for that little bit of possession to pass the ball over the halfway line. Absolutely, the shape needs to change for Hougang.
Would you? So you want to see not just someone like Hanumanthan drop, but not even a 4-1-4-1 anymore for you? Maybe a 4-2-3-1?
I'd like to see a 4-2-3-1 at the moment, because they played that spell towards the end against Ho Chi Minh, and it worked out well. Yes, of course, Ho Chi Minh took the foot off the gas. I think it'd work out much better for them in this game.
So perhaps an Afek and a Hanumanthan in that pivot, and then you've got the likes of Shafiq Ghani, Sahil Suhaimi and Hafiz Sujad as the three behind Stipe Plazibat.
And every now and then, Shafiq Ghani and a couple of his teammates could maybe just drop in that to pivot, without the ball to make a three screening in front of that back four.
Mong Luin up against a fellow at number 11, Nazrul Nazari, and he's won most of those battles. The Myanmar international. So comfortable on the ball. Mong Win into Ernest Congo. Ni Tet, the right back. Don't think we've had to see much of him in action. He's not had to do much. Everything's come down this left-hand side. Barfo. Emmanuel had a good run down the middle earlier. Barfo, Murata, and ambitious from Mong Win.
Well, he's got it in his locker. He's certainly got it in him to strike the ball from there. He's got such small feet as well. When he strikes it, he's basically striking it on the volley every time. And it was a wonderful knuckleball effort last time out in this competition. And the type of player that starts very deep, likes to just keep possession of the ball, drifts in to advanced areas. Got to keep an eye on him. It's one player I'm surprised he hasn't got more international caps, to be honest with you, Mong Win. I thought he would have had more by now.
Shafiq Ghani doesn't get onto that ball. Barfo. Now Mong again. He's looking for Murata. Shafiq Ghani.
Oh, gets away with it there. Gets away with it there, Shafiq Noor. Mong Win has debuted for Zaw Min Tun as captain for the Myanmar national team. Yeah, see, for me, that's a good tackle. Gets the ball. Only 24, Mong Win, and it's nearly 40 caps he's got.
Afik gets away with that.
Oh,
he's just taking too long with the ball, hasn't he? And he wasn't too far away, Emmanuel, from nicking it and creating an opportunity for himself, but there was a warning shot there for Afik Noor.
There's a couple of warnings.
They may just get away with this, Hougang, with about 3.5 minutes left. Yangon may be wondering how on earth they haven't scored.
Well, it should be 3-0 up, shouldn't they? The opportunities they've created, the amount of possession that they have. With at least 70% possession in this first half. But getting close to half the job done for Hougang.
Wong Wong-Lwin. You can see what he was trying to do. Is a lovely ball to the forward, Cho Neng. Just lacked that confidence.
Well, what a ball, though, from the skipper. Wonderful drifted ball over to Niang. And Niang's had a really poor first half. Been in some good areas, but his touches look like it's just hammering off him constantly. I think he's looking for Barfo, but Barfo's not made that run.
Can't wait to get them in as soon as possible. Something needs to change if you're Hougang United, and as far as Yangon are concerned, they just need a goal. That's the only thing that's lacking from their game so far. It's another pass that just goes nowhere.
Retreating to the halfway line. Look how comfortable it is for Yangon to keep possession in the opposition's half. So comfortable, able to twist and turn and get in behind.
Just offside for Cho Neng.
That's another let-off for Hougang, it really is. They've allowed the home side to get over the halfway line with good possession, then they go chasing individually. Gaps are opening up in behind, and yes, Niang's had a poor first half. Goes a little bit too early. Fortunately for Anders Aplin, finds himself with a good line.
Forward by Aplin. And lots of hitting and hoping at the moment from the back of Hougang United. Into the final minute of this first half. Well, Sao Suhaimi, did they get an unlikely goal here? Oh, that breaks down very, very quickly. Comes storming forward here. Yangon, one final chance perhaps. Wong Wong-Lwin on the right-hand side for a while. And the keeper has just about managed to get it away. Not sure why it wasn't cleared. 2 minutes of added time. Another chance goes begging for Yangon.
Well, some really good football over on that far side. When the ball was just put in there, it was a working delivery, not really picking anybody out. But look here, just a drifted ball in from the skipper. It was a really good save in the end because
absolutely
it just wasn't tall enough to get it off the first ball.
Manuel with the header. And between him and Barfo, they could have had a couple of goals each. Easy. They thought there might be at least one more chance. For Yangon, which they've taken, have they got at least another one? Nice little flick on. Whoa. He's struggled a little bit, hasn't he, Cho Neng?
He has struggled. He gets a great little nick around the corner. I think it was from Barfo. He gets himself into some great areas just because of his fitness levels, and he's nice and dynamic and busy. Technical abilities letting him down at the moment, but it was a saving tackle in the end. I think from Jordan Vestering.
whistle can't come soon enough as far as Clement Teo is concerned. "11 shots they've had so far. Almost 60% possession. Nothing yet to show for it. The Yangon United.
I think one of the first things you'd say if you're Clement Teo at half-time is to try and get Hougang to enjoy playing football a little bit more, to trust themselves individually a little bit more and enjoy the ball at their feet.
Well, it's been entertainment if you're a Yangon fan. It's been one-way traffic, very much deja vu for those of you who watched Hougang's last game against Ho Chi Minh City. But Yangon have not been able to score thanks to some of the heroics of this man, Khairul Hin. Their two forwards, Emmanuel and Barfo, might feel that they should be on the score sheet. Somehow Hougang have managed to cling on. They've not been able to get into that final third. They've barely been able to get out of their half. And here at the Tuwana Stadium at the break, it's Yangon United 0, Hougang United 0.
So half-time at the Tuwana Stadium in Yangon, and nothing to split the two sides at the break. Clement Teo with plenty to think about during the half-time interval, how his Hougang United side can get back into the game and disrupt the one-way traffic from Yangon United. We'll take a break and then we'll bring you back into the studio and discuss this one and look ahead to what else is to come in tonight.
You've taken the call-up.
Wake up! It's game time.
Lived the sleepless nights. Stood together through the tough times. And celebrated the wins. And now Standard Chartered is giving you the chance to win a trip to Anfield. Simply go to the Fox Sports Asia website and tell us in 25 words or less why you should stand red at Anfield and never walk alone.
Every day is better with friends.
Sunday, UFC Fight Night. Kevin Lee looks to end Charles Oliveira's 6-fight win streak in a pivotal lightweight showdown. Absolutely incredible. Live Sunday on Fox Sports. There's a fine line between fast and fastest. Success and failure. Teammates and rivals. Between the greats and the greatest. The new season of Formula One. Live on Fox Sports.
This March, we'll lift your spirits on Fox Life. A widower becomes a hot commodity, known to single ladies as the unicorn. Mike and Rio are settling into Bucksnort, but are they truly over their agriculture shop? Yes. Bless this mess. All eyes are on these spectacular vocal battles. Catch new coach Nick Jonas. Welcome to the show. On The Voice. This March, we'll lift your spirits on Fox Life.
Football never rests, and neither do we. So, let's go. Personally, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer swept this one under the carpet.
They weren't clinical enough up front.
Yeah, I'd be worried if I was a Tottenham fan.
We got some feedback here that I think is really relevant, Erling Haaland. Discuss. The English FA should merge the League Cup and the FA Cup. Try to stop him. Try to stop Thierry Immobile. That's the problem you've got.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? become in the far future.
Forward here. Wong Nguyen. Caroline. Let's put that out for a corner. Just look crisper on the ball. That's a really good ball and a decent stop in the end. Jordan Vestering saves his team there. It's a decent ball in and no conviction whatsoever.
Half-time at the Tuvuna Stadium in Yangon, the first ever AFC Cup match between Yangon United and Hougang United. But if you are a fan of the Singaporean side, these statistics do not make pretty reading. No attempts at all, be they on target or otherwise. It has been one-way traffic, and it has all been the home side. Yangon United with 11 attempts. They will just be ruining the fact that of those 3 attempts on target, none of them have resulted in a goal. They've had more possession, more passes, and a higher passing accuracy as well. They have just not been able to find the finishing touch in the first 45 minutes. Hello there, it's very good to have your company on a very busy evening of AFC Cup action right across Southeast Asia. 2 games currently ongoing, 2 to come, and 2 men in the studio to take us through all of it in Shebi Singh and Rish Roshan Rai. We've been watching the first half of that match between Yangon and Hougang, but I just wanted to take us through what else is coming up today, Shebi, in the state of play currently across the 2 groups.
Interestingly enough, I think we are going to see some very exciting football, especially with Tampines Rovers up against Shah United. Tampines have been impressive, in my opinion, as to how they keep the ball. But today at home against Shah United, I would say that they are pretty much the favourites to win this. And we've got Ho Chi Minh City against Lao Toyota as well. So 2 very, very interesting games coming up.
Absolutely. As we've just been watching on Fox Sports, though, it is currently half-time in Myanmar in that match between Yangon United and Hougang United. It's goalless in the first half, but we'll bring you the chances, and all of those have gone the way of the home side in the first 45. And Mung Moon Lin was the man to have the first proper attempt for the home side, this one in the 3rd minute. He is always a ball of energy, is he, and that one was a well-struck shot and a well-saved one as well.
Yeah, he's absolutely got that in his locker, Mong Lin, his ability to carry it through, take defenders on. He's always going to look to try and cut in onto his right foot to get shots off on goal. Look, they're really enjoying themselves down this left-hand side, and it should have been 1-0 up here. With the overload that they have on the 6-yard box there, you can see 3 players up against 2. You've got Barfo in acres of space, and he puts it right down the middle. It's a simple enough stop for Khairul Hidayat, but Yangon should have finished off that opportunity.
Yeah, Hougang really have to their keeper to thanks for keeping them in the first half here. Another chance, a bit of a mess at the back defensively. Zach Anderson arriving around there on the ground. So too the man who had the chance there, and Ang Kwan Ying. But yeah, all one-way traffic in the first half. This in the 25 minutes, and it was the same man who just had that attempt a couple of minutes earlier. Great cutback here, and that goes down as a big miss, Shebi.
It is a horrible miss. I don't think he really has made up his mind about what he wants to do, and for me, I mean, that's really, really wasteful.
And just the final chance for Yangon before the break. That one, a nice curler, just sailing over the bar, Rosh.
Beautiful play from Emmanuel. A great driving run right through the heart of Hougang's midfield there. It's just a little bit too easy for them at the moment, Yangon. I mean, yes, the individual quality is taking them away in those one-on-one situations, just pulling Hougang apart, especially down the left-hand side, as I mentioned. There's some players coming across, they're outnumbering there, and they're creating issues for Hougang in those spaces, which means that midfield then gets sort of stretched as well. You're seeing a situation where Anumantan has to come out and cover and help Nazrul out in those defensive positions, or Afiq has to come and cover, and then that's when you get those spaces being stretched out in central midfield, because Sahil, his work rate defensively is not quite the best, so you're having one of the central midfielders having to come across, and that's causing issues elsewhere on the park.
Yeah, the saving grace for Hougang is that they are still in the match. They haven't conceded, but it's the problem when they have the ball, Shebby, as opposed to when they don't have it.
Yeah, I think, without the ball, yes, they have taken, some risk at the back and they've not been punished. But what do you do when you have the ball? I mean, you're away from home, strong, solid, very, very tight defensively. But when you have the ball, you've got to make a better use of it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we will see here, let's just play this one. And they battle hard in midfield, they win the ball, and then you find that they are in a very, very congested space. Those are your two strikers. Both are looking at the ball. Nobody's looking to make a run. So it's a very simple, straightforward pass. We roll that on. What happens is because the players are not looking at the ball, and you waste an opportunity here. You give possession away, and then you work ever so hard to get it back. Now, deep clearance from defense. Stipe Plaziba has got the ball. He's got support either side of him. And you would think that, this is a counter-attack. We're looking at a counter-attacking opportunity. Now, we look at the situation where the Yangon defense is very high up the pitch. What you need is a straightforward ball over the top. What happens here, never mind if the linesman's flag goes up. But what happens here, the run is made and the ball goes in the totally opposite direction. I mean, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Once again, deep in their own half. And they once again, in the middle third, they have a lot of possession. And you think, let's keep it. So what happens here, it is Stipe Plaziba on the ball. There is a big gap, yes, no doubt, between the strikers and the midfield. But look at Stipe Plaziba. Let's just give it away because we don't like the ball.
Yeah. What more can you say about that? Clementia with plenty to talk to his Hougang side about there. That match in Group F. Meanwhile, over in Group H, there is a match that is nearing its conclusion in Indonesia between PSM Makassar and Kaya FC. And plenty of talking points in this one, the first of which being this sending off for a second yellow card in only the 10th minute of play. This one here, Dedi Guzmawan. He'd picked up the first yellow just a couple of minutes before, in fact, and he didn't learn his lesson from that one, and he goes off with very little to complain about as well, Roshan.
No, look, I think it's a foul, but I don't think it's a second yellow. Yes, he is late, but PSM, to their credit, look, they break through with just 10 players. They get the opening goal here. It's a lovely finish from Osas, just to put it past Osas past Casas, and they take the lead there.
They take the lead there, but into the second half, and the one-man advantage for Kaya FC would show. A nice towering header there by not the tallest man on the pitch in Eric Giganto as it drew 1-1. That match is reaching its latter stages over on Fox Sports 2. Meanwhile, here on Fox Sports, we're going to go for a very short break, after which we will get you back down to the Tavuna Stadium in Yangon for the second half between Yangon United and Hougang United. Can Hougang finally have an attempt in the second 45? Find out live on the Fox Sports Network in a couple of minutes' time.
You've taken the call-up.
Wake up! It's game time.
Lived the sleepless nights. Stood together through the tough times. And celebrated the wins. And now Standard Chartered is giving you the chance to win a trip to Anfield. Simply go to the Fox Sports Asia website and tell us in 25 words or less why you should stand red at Anfield and never walk alone.
Sporting art at its finest. Oh, it's just amazing.
So good, so tempered, so perfect.
This is turning into quite a performance, delighting the crowd, embracing the occasion.
Oh, absolutely sensational.
That had a bit of everything in it.
And it just gets better and better.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? Who will we become in the far future?
AFC double strike.
Larkin Stadium in Johor, royalty in the house.
Asia's theatre of football.
What a goal!
Where the passionate fans inspire clubs to chase continental glory.
Well, it's absolute class.
AFC double strike. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Live on Fox Sports.
Gecko, count us down. Woody, you are gonna love this.
Yeah, Combat Carl's getting played with.
The whole gang's still together.
Let's go!
Yeah. Look who jumped 40 school buses and landed back in my life.
Who needs a...
Welcome back to the Tuwana Stadium AFC Cup Matchday 3. Yangon United hosting Hougang United. It says 0-0 on your screen, but that's probably one of the most one-sided 0-0s I've seen in quite some time, John Wilkins.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that. Only one side seems to be wanting to play football. The other side, the away side, have got their athletic track shoes on, and all they really want to do is try and fill the gaps and just chase shadows, because they're finding it very difficult to get hold of the ball. Constantly peppered. They're hanging on in there though, Hougang.
There's Kyril Hin. I'm just trying to see if there's any discernible change in formation, none in personnel that we can make out. Oh, an immediate attacking the ball. Well, it's exactly as things were before the break.
Well, in the end, as the ball was, there were two really good crosses put in. First off was a Superman save from Kyril as it came in from the other side. This time, have a look here, the ball's just drifted into a dangerous area. Zach Anderson just manages to get a touch on that, takes it off the head of Barfo. Great delivery here. Nasrul yet again getting stretched, as he was all throughout the first half. Sorry, takes it off the head of Niang. And Yangon's coach just still can't believe that his side aren't a couple of goals up.
Just look at it. Just seems too easy.
Getting in behind yet again. Good save from Anders Aplin. Sliding in there, taking it off his toe. Carrying on from the first half. Lots of corners for Yangon United. I don't think Hougang have had anywhere near one.
Again, flicked across, and it's another effort that somehow doesn't bounce the back of the net. This time, Ernest Congo.
Well, Ernest Congo is in too early. This is straight off the training ground, near post corner. They've done this 3 or 4 times so far, Yangon United. As it's helped on, he's in too early. So he has to crane his neck, and he almost gets it on target. If I'm the coach, I'm really cross with this. Off the training ground, he's killed his own space there, Ernest Congo.
But if you're the other coach, wouldn't you be also annoyed that the flick-ons, they're getting to the flick-ons first every time?
You always need to have a man ahead of the opposition in that near post, always. And yeah, it's a good delivery, but you expect that at continental level. You expect good deliveries to come in. From one of the more experienced players for Hougang, I'll be wanting things changing formation-wise. It doesn't look like there has been a change at all. Ghani off balance, giving the ball away. That's unlike him.
It's better from Jordan Vestering. He's a little annoyed that that's been given against him. Murata gone about his business quietly. Frankly, not particularly needed so far. It's been a very good attacking display from Yangon, but it will count for nothing They can't get the goal. Man, the ball has been excellent in the first half. Mong win. Zappelin this time gets the better of the attackers of Yangon. Emmanuel. Yet another corner. Now, let's see if it's the same sort of sequence of events that we saw a little earlier.
So the three import players for Yangon, they stay nice and close together. All three of them very, very physical. And that's what Hougang have to be to stop this corner.
They were going for the flick on again, weren't they?
Near post, Stipe Plazibat gets that clear, but you want to see, I think it's Afik Noor, you want to see him get on the toes of Niang, who's making that run towards the near post. They go for it again. This time I think Emmanuel gets something on that. And once again, Emmanuel needs to be a little bit more subtle with that header.
He's irritated.
Well, he's livid because Barfo and Emmanuel make the same run. Both of them go towards that near post.
Now Mong Luin, that is. Two of them in the side, of course. Mong Win and Mong Luin. And here's the other one. Now Nitet, who's the quieter of the two fullbacks. Chorneng winning almost every single header, and the shot was blocked.
Some good deliveries coming in, some good working crosses coming in all throughout the start of this second half. Good strength shown from Barfo, just laying it off to Mong Win. Mong Win didn't really get hold of it though. Here he is.
Mong Win. Manuel into the ball. It sails over. Peppering the goal. There's absolutely no change in momentum from this first half.
No, and they're still arguing with each other, Yangon. You know, for a team to work and for a dressing room to work, they don't necessarily have to be friends. They don't necessarily have to like each other. It's not always the case that it should be a nice, content, happy dressing room that will translate well onto the pitch. In fact, I've been in dressing rooms where the opposite is true, where you don't get on and you grizzle on the pitch and you argue with each other, as long as you have that common goal. And the common goal at the moment for Yangon is to get on the score sheet. You feel if one goes in, the gates will open.
Well, this combo clears. Any names you want to give us, John, that we might know of?
I was always the one causing the problems. How about that?
Oh, that was a given. On a serious note, Hougang United fans watching this will be scratching their heads as to how they can improve, how they can get better, John. What needs to be done?
Well, it certainly looks like a confidence issue. You know, physically, they look okay. I don't think they look tired at all. It's got to be a confidence issue. When I'm looking at their body language when they're receiving the ball, a lot of the players are just looking to offload it far too quickly. I haven't yet seen a midfielder especially receive the ball under pressure, take the contact and go down and start things anew. Get a free kick here and there. But as the boys were highlighting in the halftime show, the movement ahead of the man on the ball is all wrong. I mean, you're getting two players ahead of the man on the ball if they do move, making the same run, which is ridiculous. There's no great depth to the attacks as well because the position of some of the players is just not quite right. You've either getting two orange shirts too close to each other or too far apart. There's no great consistency.
We've got to add that Yangon, they are veterans, of course, of the AFC Cup. They've been playing it since 2012. But is that an excuse, John? Because Hougang, yes, this is their first season in. They've got players in here who've been in the competition before. Here's Barfo. Zach Anderson gets something on it, and then Anumanthan tries to clear. They've got internationals in their squad.
Look, when you're playing continental football, where it's AFC Champions League, where even if it's AFC Cup, the tempo does change. It does change, and you know, you have to get up. You have to get up for that challenge straight away from kickoff, and you should be able to. As you've already mentioned, some of the Hougang players are full internationals. You know, there's a couple of players that have got over, you know, double figures national team level. They should be able to cope with that. I know there's a lot of experience at international level as well for Yangon United, but it's no excuse for Hougang. You know, they're aside from Singapore, and traditionally Singapore sides should be nice and comfortable against the likes of Yangon.
Talking of that, Myanmar sides have never beaten Singapore sides in the AFC Cup. And this today could be the first one, the first example of that. Afik, is there a foul on him?
Well, that's nice play from Afik. That's really nice, comfortable play. Good first touch. A little bit of troubleshooting with that Cruyff turn there. And he draws the foul, takes a little bit of pressure off his back line. What Hougang don't want to do is drop deep and try and get possession of the ball in this area. It's not working out well for them. They get drawn into a high press and they give the ball away on that halfway line. Ball needs to be cleared, and simply they need to recover that second ball. They have to work harder to get the second ball. Just because it's a free header straight away, not an orange shirt anywhere near.
Surging run, Mong win this time. Not too easy down the middle. Anumanthan now. Brilliant from Mong win. Shot though, and his namesake annoyed that he didn't get the ball, and instead he went for goal.
Well, there's Kwon Yang on that near side, number 10, screaming for the ball. But because of his first half performance, I wouldn't have laid the ball off to him either. And I think Mong Win's earned the right to go for goal there. Crunching tackle on Anu.
Here is Anu. Still no attempts whatsoever from Hougang United, and that's another wasted ball that just doesn't seem to make sense the way they're approaching this game. I'm just going to correct a stat I said earlier that about Myanmar teams. The teams from Myanmar have actually lost their last 5 consecutive games against Singapore sides in the AFC Cup. They've conceded an average of 3 goals a game, John. So there you have it. Singapore sides generally beat the Myanmar sides comfortably. Yangon United have never managed to beat a Singapore side. That's the stat I was trying to get out. They've lost their last 3 in a row, and they drew one before that. And generally, those sides would be Tampines Rovers and Home United, who are usually the regulars. Tampines are in action a little bit later on this evening. Here's Anu. Looking for Sahil Suhaimi, who seems to be the most forward player here. Stipe Plazibat, this is a bit better. And I'm not sure who that was for.
And then thrown away. Yeah, it was a little bit better up until that point. And if you have a look there, 2 bodies just go chasing, they get played around straight away.
Applin.
See the big shadow coming across the pitch now.
That might prove
cool things down.
Welcome relief, yeah. Afik. it feels like they're creating problems for themselves here, John. Playing their way out of trouble, or trying to anyway.
Well, that's better. That's much better from Hougang. And Afik had that all-important little look over his shoulder before he received the ball. And he spreads the play nicely. Good piece of possession, good play from Hougang's back line there. Afik needs to get the ball again. See if he can switch the point of play.
It's about 8-9 passes now from Hougang. Haven't really progressed, but time of the ball is probably something they need at the moment.
Well, they've worked so hard in possession to switch the point of play, get out of trouble, but then they want to play the ball backwards again. And then they throw it away. And if I'm Zach and Amanda Zaplin, yeah, their body language could be better when they're on the ball. Their body shape can be better. But there's nobody demanding the ball in that midfield area. Nobody making any kind of movement.
Murata. Here's Mong Nguyen on this right-hand side. Stands a ball up. And that looked like it was going to be on target, the header from Barfo, before it got a deflection.
Well, the two African imports on that back post, once again, in the same area, both scrapping to get ahead on that ball. It was Barfo. Sting taken out of it, I think, from Zach Anderson. We've seen Anu do that a couple of times now. Just break the initial block. Break through. Gets his heels clipped there. And Anu's much more comfortable receiving the ball off his centre-backs. Much more comfortable than Afik Noor is.
Generally, Yangon are the kind of side that don't make it out of the group stages. They've only done it twice before, 2013 and 2014. Chance here, that's the first chance they've had. Hafiz Sujad. Well, that's one unwanted statistic out of the way. At least they've had their first chance, John.
Broken their duck there. Well, it's their first attempt, isn't it? I'm still not sure if that's on target, but either way, it was much better.
To be fair, Yangon have improved in recent years. They got to the zonal semi-finals in 2018, where they lost to Ceres Negros in a high-scoring game, 6-5 on aggregate.
That all coincides as well with their national team doing better, especially their age group national teams. They're under 17s a couple of years ago. Doing really well.
Barfo again. Wasteful at the moment, aren't they?
Well, they are wasteful. The movement's really good from Barfo. It's difficult to pin down, but I think if you put him under a little bit of pressure in that final third, both he and Emmanuel are going to run out of ideas, you feel.
Barfo now. Mong Nguyen deciding he wants some time on this right-hand side, does well. Mong Nguyen. Look at the space that he's got here. Mong Nguyen. It's away by Anders Zaplin.
I love that little stud delivery from the skipper. Anders Zaplin, brave header, because he saw Emmanuel coming. And once again, one of your more technically gifted players, Shafiq Ghani, goes and gives the ball away. And once again, Hougang under pressure.
They're just seeming to turn the button on now. They want that goal badly, don't they? They need that goal. Knowing that Ho Chi Minh are in action against Lao Toyota, and add some credence to the point. Well, interesting. It's Emmanuel who is going off. Tan Peng comes on. It's a like-for-like change.
We'll see Tan Peng play before. He's a lot cooler in front of goal. He's actually a traditional number 9, Tan Peng. He'll be looking to stay right in that box.
Myanmar international Tan Peng, and that's the first chance he had to touch the ball.
It just came to him too quickly, didn't it? Had a couple of good touches to get himself into the game. And just got stuck under his feet. Couldn't sort his feet out quickly enough, but good movement.
Big man for Myanmar, almost 6 foot. Might add him on up there with Emmanuel. Are they going to get this elusive goal? 25 minutes or so for Hougang to hang on. I use the word hang on because they haven't offered anything really, have they? The one opportunity so far was a header, and a pretty tame one in the end from Hafiz Sujad. Not much more he could do with it. When you look at the bench, Shawal Anwar is the obvious man to come on. First, they've got to get a grip of the midfield. Well, we'll be very generous and put that down as an attempt on goal.
Well, Zach Anderson, it's actually a really clever header. Pins himself against the defender. Good diagonal ball to him. And he's just laying that off, just putting it into a dangerous area. He's got to be asking the questions of Stipe Plazi about why he's not gambling there.
Set pieces at the moment might be the only real chance for Hougang to get bodies up there and create something. That go out of play. I think it did.
Fortunate, Hafiz Sujad gave up on that one. He's beginning to look a bit ragged now on this near side. Quite rightly, Myanmar playing in the shadow.
Well, when you look at the bench, they've got Faisal Mohamed Suhaimi, their defenders. Alip Iskandar is a youngster, 21 years of age.
Well,
Heng Hongmeng's a goalkeeper. So
well, it does make me laugh, Shez, when you're having a look at what is on the bench for the side. If you're wearing a number 10 shirt, and it's something me and Chevy Singh was speaking about a week ago. If you're wearing a number 10 shirt, you should never be sat on the bench. And Shawal Anwar is sat on the bench there.
I can only imagine it might be a possible knock. They want to, I suppose, preserve him. You're good enough to be on the bench. You've got to play, don't you? You've got to be able to come on.
You've got to be able to contribute. Of course you have.
They've got two midfielders in Nikesh Singh and Charles Matra. Both are holding midfielders more than anything else. They're not game-changing, attacking sort of midfielders. There's Shawal Anwar. So presumably he's going to come on. Is this a drinks break? Wow, interesting, because we didn't have one when it was hotter in the first half. And now the big shadows cast itself about a quarter, almost half the pitch, and they're having one now. It might be actually quite good as far as Hougang are concerned to do this.
Yeah, maybe they can just have a little regroup and figure a little formation change out, perhaps. Interesting, in that midfield, we've not seen the Japanese import, or even mentioned his name, Murata Shori. Sho Murata's gone about his business really well, I think. Hardly given the ball away. And in a progressive midfield for the home side. Sho Murata, I think he's vital, keeps things together. Like I said, rarely gives the ball away. Can play along that back line as well.
Hougang are in action on Sunday. So Shawal Anwar comes on for Jordan Vestring, which presumably means Hafiz Sujad goes onto that left-hand side. I think Vesterings had a pretty solid
I was
game.
just about to say, you know, for someone with limited experience, certainly on the continental stage, I think he's done okay. I think he's shown a good turn of pace. Of course, he doesn't read the game nearly well enough, but that will come. Put his foot in, being aggressive, athletic.
Well, let's see. Afik Noor, again, just holding onto the ball far too long, and then a little tug there, as he got away with it, not getting booked.
I thought that was a really good tackle. Defensively, very, very good. Turencio didn't dive in.
The appearance of someone like a Shawal Anwar just give this team a boost. You really can change the dynamic of a team. That's yet another aimless ball.
I just heard Clement Teo just go ballistic on the sideline. Throwing the ball away yet again, but I'm with you. Shawal Anwar, with his pace anyway, it's deceptive pace as well. He cruises into positions really well. He had a couple of good opportunities early on, actually, against Ho Chi Minh. Over the top, some diagonal runs from him.
That wasn't a great ball, but Zach Anderson just puts it out of play to be safe. We can confirm that Hafiz is indeed the left back now, and there's another change here. And it's going to be for the hosts. Zin Min Tun. Not sure why he's going up to the ref to do that. Comes on for Chor Neng, who's probably had a relatively disappointing game for the attack. Has gotten some great positions, John, as you mentioned, but finishing left a lot to be desired.
You can understand why Chor Neng's been taken off. You can also understand why he gets a starting berth. I mean, physically, he was a real energy bunny, wasn't he? Up and down, up and down.
They're just creating problems for themselves at times. Foul by Hafiz.
Yeah, look at that pressure from the skipper. Mong Luin. Sure he'll pick himself up. Just really, really durable there. He's an all-action midfielder. Good on the ball, creates chances for others, can score, pop up and score a goal. Puts his foot in as well. What a midfielder should be, an all-round midfielder.
Plazibat does his defensive work. There's a man down. For Hougang, it's Nazrul Nazari.
He got his foot stepped on there. I think it's accidental. Take the opportunity to take his time on getting up, take some pressure off his side. I was thinking that maybe at half-time that Hougang would play themselves into this game, perhaps come out in this second half and change the formation slightly, if not the personnel. Show a little bit more intent. Hasn't really been the case.
He's shows some good skill there. The new man in is in Min Tun. Tan Peng. Cross from Mong Mong. Doesn't hit his intended target. Shawal Anwar.
Good work from Shawal. Good, solid, brave block tackle. And good work from Sahel Sahaimi as well, getting his body in the way, feeling the contact, understanding that there's nowhere to go. It's better off that he takes the tumble. condoning a little bit of diving? Yes, I am. When you're away from home under such pressure as the side from Singapore is.
Oh, it's done really well here. Can they score? Well, that has been the best opportunity they've had. It's still alive here for Hougang. Sahil Suhaimi, who had the opportunity earlier, but that is what Shawal Anwar brings to the table.
Well, I said it in the first half. I said it in the first half about this Yangon side. Yes, they're good going forward, but they're nowhere near good enough to hold out completely for the full 90 without giving the opposition a look in. Great touch there from Shawal Anwar. And you're right, Shez. He does give them a little lift, didn't he, coming on? That pace to get in behind. As this delivery's just stood in, great delivery there. And I think Sahel can take that on his chest, back, take a touch back towards the 6-yard box and have a slash at that.
Well, that's 2 chances there. That's as many as they've had in the entire game.
Great play from Shawal since coming on. Been involved twice, kept the ball once, got him behind the second time.
Can they get the proverbial smash and grab here? Again, after about outplayed for 70-odd minutes like they were against Ho Chi Minh City, except at that point they were 3-0 down. Here, no goals have been scored. Can they go on to nick a win, perhaps? It's a very odd way of going about a game, but they seem to come alive after a couple of changes are made. It was carelessly given away. Murata. They just seem to have picked up the intensity a bit. Stipe Plazibat. Lifts the ball up towards Shawal Anwar, gets the header. Here's Sahil Suhaimi, he's gone for goal! Stung the palms of Satneg. I don't think he knows what that feeling is in this match.
Well, there you go. Sahil Suhaimi getting nice and close to Shawal Anwar. Shawal does brilliant to nod it down to Sahil. What a stinging effort that was.
3 chances in the last couple of minutes. One up the other end. That's a poor one from Barfo.
Yeah, all opened up for him, and now it's getting really stretched. It bobbled up for Barfo, and when it does that, make sure you look at the turf so everybody knows. Look here, good little nod down. This is a great little snapshot, really is. Either side of the goalkeeper, I think the keeper's struggling. Quite frankly, we just don't know how good this goalkeeper is. Fortunately, straight down his throat. Did enough.
About 15 minutes if you include some added time here for us to get a goal. Anumantan with the header. There's certainly a lift now about the side. There's something about Hougang. No foul on Afik. Mong Mong comes forward. Barfo.
Once again, Barfo. It's a good tackle from Zach. Good block. Doesn't get too close that he can get rolled by Barfo. 1 yard off. Close enough to make the block. But really good tackle from Mong Mong Nguyen to win the ball off Afik initially. Mong Mong Nguyen for me has been absolutely standout.
Yeah, he has been excellent tonight. Or this afternoon, sorry. Final change made. Murata is off. He's replaced by Yin Chan Ong. Yin Chan Ong, 23-year-old, Myanmar international, attacking midfielder. They're going for goal. As we've taken Murata off. Pulling out all the stops here to their credit, Yangon. Hougang. I'm not sure a draw is really what they want Yeah, I know it's an away game, but they lost ground at home, John, against Ho Chi Minh. They haven't looked like they wanted to go out and win this until the last 10 minutes.
I'm with you. I don't, being a Singaporean myself, I don't like Singapore sides to be comfortable. Getting a point against the Myanmar side, it just goes against the grain for me.
Oh, that was a little bit of a let-off. He was offside, I think, on Barfo.
Oh, I'd like to have a look at that again. I'm not sure he was. Linesman seems confident. Let's have a look at that. I'm not so sure. It looked like a staggered backline from Hougang. Go back to your initial question. There's a part of me that thinks that perhaps Hougang will be happy knowing that they've performed pretty poorly.
They've got away with it.
Offered very little and still not lost, and they could perhaps take some confidence from that. On the other hand, whether you're playing home or away against a side from Myanmar, traditionally, Singapore side, I think greater resources. You should be looking for nothing but a win.
Oh, that's given away to Mong Luin. Can they finish now? Tan Peng, surely now he does! With the outside of his right foot. After the ball was carelessly given away. And finally, with about 10 minutes to go in this game, Yangon get their elusive goal.
Well, Young Peng, he's only in his early 20s. There's not a lot of stats available goal-wise, but I have seen him score goals, despite what it might say on Wikipedia. He is a fantastic finisher, very, very cold indeed. He's going to play at age group level for Myanmar. He goes ice cold in front of goal. This is a wonderful, high-class finish, because the first touch isn't out of his feet, because he's got no space to have too much of a heavy first touch on that. And he knew exactly what he wanted to do. You see anybody finishing with the outside of their boot, usually it's a very, very confident striker. No wonder he's got that number 9.
Well, Yangon will feel this is just desserts for all their endeavour today. Hougang thought they might get away with it now, as they have to really try and be far more expansive than they've been for pretty much most of this game. They are running out of time. And with things quite tight in this group, you'd expect Ho Chi Minh to get points. This might be the turning point in the AFC Cup campaign for Hougang United. 2 losses in a row, unless they really pull things out, John, and it would be some kind of turnaround given their 2 performances today and against Ho Chi Minh. They'd really need a big turnaround, wouldn't they?
Well, of course they would. I mean, there's a hell of a lot for them to do. Performances, when you're 0-0 and the performances have been poor, like I said, take confidence from not losing. It completely changes things. Losing and the performance being bad, I mean, it's an absolute disaster. You've got to look at the reason why. I think you have to look individually why they played very, very poor. What's the problem? What's been the poor mindset of the players? Why haven't they looked confident with the ball at their feet? Why hasn't the movement been better? And then also you've got to look at the performance of the coaching staff. I don't think the formation setup has been good enough. Look, I'm all for teams trying to play out from the back, but you've got to look at the profile of players. Along that back line, how many of the players are comfortable bringing the ball up through?
Just to cut in there, Mohamed Suhaimi, who's a defender, is on for the attacker Shafiq Ghani. Now I just wonder if they're going to shift things around. Shawa's done well again. It's just too much to ask for him to keep that ball in play. 4 against 2 at the moment, and that's got to be a much better ball from Tan Peng to Mong Luin. They had the overload there, easy overload.
Yeah, it was 4 on 3. Zach Anderson, fortunately, had a really good body position, stayed nice and low, and read that pass. There's a little bit of afters there on the top of the foot. Well, Anwar just going through. And yet, yeah, he's still in a great deal of pain. It looked like Shaul when he came on. He had a point to prove. He looked a little bit angry.
Might have been a catalyst here, but there's your goal scorer, Tan Peng. He might have had a point to prove as well.
Oh, certainly, yeah. I know Emmanuel. He looked disappointed to be taken off. If you're the import player, you've got to make the difference. You really have to. Emmanuel threatened, but you always get judged on your goals, and Emmanuel, still young himself, didn't make that difference. So you've got an import player on the bench as well. And, Matchel for Hougang does not have a look in the midfield area. There really needed to be a foothold for Hougang. Just crying out for an import player to make that difference in the midfield for them.
First tried to swing that in. Mohamed Suhaimi is just playing in the right-hand side where Shafiq Ghani was. Just wonder whether it's worth, since Mohamed's a defender, put him back and either get a Zach Anderson or an Anders Applin forward and play a bit more direct.
Zach Anderson being an Aussie, the late Darren Stewart used to do that for a number of teams in Malaysia. For Tanjong Pagar as well, start at centre-back and then when they're chasing the goal, go right up top to great effect as well.
Play on, says the referee. We might look at that later. Mong Mong Win. He's going to lay that off to Barfo. Mong Mong again. Was that the earlier foul from Anumantan? That's why they're kicking the ball out of play. Tan Peng is the man down.
Yeah, he's holding his ankle. Have a little look here. Gets a toe in there and he gets his foot stepped on, and it looked like he rolled it just afterwards. Have a look at that right foot. Yeah, he gets his foot stepped on.
John, that's a foul. That's a yellow card, isn't it?
For me, it's a yellow card.
That would mean he's off.
Context always matters, of course it does, whether we like it or not. The referee's just called Anu over just to have a quick chat.
Well, what's probably saved him is he played the advantage.
It's gone up and
that's all I can think of, because
it's called the referee off, you think. Maybe allowing the play to go on.
He's a little lucky for Anumantan. There's the new man on, Mohamed Suhaimi. Back to Satneng. You'd surely want players to just push up a little bit. Mohamed is not that kind of player, though. Defensively minded. Didn't exactly have many attacking options on the bench either. Oh, little nutmeg there on Anderson.
Well, Zach does really well then, stands his ground, but then didn't want that ball back.
Couple minutes left, plus some amount of time here. 2-1 stadium.
Still only 1-0 as well. Not going to do well to just have a little gamble from now on.
Foul by the new man in Mintun, a relatively new man, or Nazrul.
Nazrul does well, being under pressure constantly throughout this game. To stay fresh enough to keep possession of the ball now late in this game. Does really, really well. One of the most experienced players now, Nazrul Nazari, in a Hougang shirt.
Has established himself as the first choice right back for Singapore. Of course, the news coming through yesterday that the AFC have decided to postpone the World Cup qualifiers. Stipe Plazibats was trying to spin and take the shot. He claims he was impeded.
They keep saying that he was pulling. Referee's in a great position, and he waved it away straight away.
Looked to be favourite to get to that ball first. When
he did.
Spun round.
More out of luck than out of design. There's a little bit of pulling, yeah, but both of them are pulling there. I think it would be a harsh one to give, but the referee is in a great position.
A little bit of miscommunication. What's happening? This ball ends up with Mong Luin. Is he going corner flag or is he going to go for goal? Slip through to Barfo. Remember, they just need the points now. Can they manage again? There's 4 more minutes to negotiate. Mong Luin, he deserves something here. Oh, and Tan Peng on the wrong side of the post.
Just wondering whether Tan Peng could have just left that then. Whether he's gone towards the near post, it was slightly behind him. If he'd have just left that, he's got a teammate coming in.
And this Congo, easy as you like. Into this added time now. Little touch on from Tan Peng. Mong Win.
A mature footballer, Mong Win is. Just in that pivot role.
Carol Hain. Second time he's done that in this match. Otherwise, he's had a pretty decent game.
A rush of blood to the head, and Barfo would have been able to finish with the outside of his left foot. What a finish that would have been.
Here's Anderson. Played the ball out a number of times from the back today, and very rarely has it worked out for Hougang. Nitet. The rare times you've seen him get that high up the pitch. Now Nazrul Nazari. Mohamed. And even if Hougang did manage to squeeze one in now, John, it would be barely deserved, wouldn't it? That's football, I know, but
yeah,
football would not be a fair reflection of this score.
No, certainly not. If it was 1-1, I think the football gods would have done a disservice to the home side. Hougang completely dominated it. Have looked at a completely different level than Hougang.
Apart from a 10-minute spell, perhaps, after the introduction of Shaolong around the 70th minute. Here they go, and his good ball through to Mong Luin. He deserves a goal. Somehow, once again, it's a bit of a charmed life, this Hougang goal.
Well, tip your hat to Nazrul Nazari, doing his due diligence, tracking the runner and then clearing off the line.
Lovely give and go there. Oh, I can't believe that's also fallen the wrong side of the post. Again, Tan Peng.
Well, Mong Wins and Luin getting in behind. Both of the midfielders taking their turn to get in behind. Lovely little link-up play between those two, and those two have been standout. And Hougang once again get away with it.
Maybe the final opportunity now for Hougang, who are back in the league against Geylang International on Sunday. They bounced back well after their disappointing loss against Ho Chi Minh. Can they do the same against Geylang, who were thrashed in the opening day against Albrechts Negata? As for Yangon United, they play Magwe on Saturday, so a little bit less rest for them. They can look back on what's been a fine performance for them. Magwe are 8th in the table, so perhaps a chance here for Yangon.
That's unfortunate.
We've had the 4 minutes. Is there one final chance here? Referee says no, there isn't. And John Wilkinson, your final thoughts on this game?
Well, disappointing performance from Hougang United. You thought that perhaps that following on from their disappointing performance against Ho Chi Minh in their first game, they would do better. They haven't done better. Quite rightly, they got overturned by the home side Yangon. Yangon could have added a lot more goals, played some wonderful little build-up play towards the final third of the pitch. Deserved more goals, but really enjoyed the performance from Yangon. And you still think there's another gear to come for them. There's certainly more gears to go through, you'd hope, for Hougang United.
The only goal of the game coming from substitute Tan Peng in the final 10 minutes. It does break a run of games for Yangon. The first time they've ever beaten a Singaporean team in the AFC Cup after 4 matches. In fact, it's the first time that a Myanmar side have beaten a team from Singapore in 6 games after losing the last.